Hi guys, I'm Jen from KetoCookingWins.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make sausage and egg cups. They're a tasty, easy, and delicious breakfast that you can even prep the night before and get ready to pop in the oven so that it's ready to go first thing on a weekend morning. They're easy, they're delicious, they're impressive, and they're keto. So come on back and I'll show you just how to make sausage and egg cups. All right, let's get cooking. This dish really couldn't be any easier, especially if you start with bulk breakfast sausage. I've used a good quality bulk breakfast sausage, one that I know is free of any fillers or starches, those pesky hidden carbs that we're always on the lookout for. Most of the flavor is right here. That's why I use a really good quality bulk sausage. We are going to give it a little bit of help with some onion. I've got the world's smallest onion right here. I'm just going to put a quick dice on it. Now, a word about onion. You want to cut it really small in this dish particular because we're not pre-cooking the onion. So you want it to be able to cook through in the dish. So I'm just going to mince it up really kind of tiny. Another trick is to take your cheese grater and just run the onion through the cheese grater. We're going to use, maybe half a cup of onion. I think that's what the recipe calls for. And you know, onions are debatable on keto. They are higher in carbs, but many people, myself included, feel that the flavor that they give is well worth the extra carb or two per serving that they give you. Besides, as carby vegetables go, onions are not a big deal. All right, so really super tiny dice. Hey, even throw it in the food processor or a mini chopper, something like that. Because if you have big, ugly onion pieces, it's not going to cook, and then you're going to bite into onion pieces. We don't want that. You want the flavor to go all the way through the meat. So super tiny. And I'm getting it all over the floor again. That's just par for the course with me. All right, in we go. I'm just going to estimate about half a cup. So what do I do with the leftovers? I throw them in a baggie in the freezer, and then when I make chicken stock or bone broth, I just pull this out, the frozen block of veggie bits, and right in the soup pot they go. Nothing goes to waste in my house. All right, we're going to add our sausage to this, just like that. And I'm going to add some fresh chopped parsley. Why? Because it adds great flavor and a little bit of freshness. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of that right in there. All right, bad news, guys. You kind of got to get in and dirty with this one. You've got to get it all mixed up and well blended. It doesn't need any salt or pepper because your sausage meat should already be well seasoned. So you shouldn't have to add anything at all to this. If you're using a pretty plain sausage meat, you can add a bit of garlic to it. That's always an extra bonus. Again, that'll cost you a bit in the carb department, but you'll make out like a bandit in the flavor department. Okay, so the next step, get you out of the way, is we're going to pre-cook the cups. We could just do it all at once, make the cups, add the egg, bake them, but your eggs are going to be hard then. They're not going to come out nice and runny. So the trick to this dish in getting a nice runny egg is to pre-cook the cups. So divide your mixture into 6, and I started with 1 pound of meat. So 6 portions, roughly even. Just pop them in the cups. Yeah, I'm going to have to steal a little bit for this last one. That's okay. All right. Now, we're just going to get our hands in here and press the sausage up to the sides of the cup, but not over, creating a nice little hole in the middle. All right, so I've got them all cupped, pressed up against the side, and making sure I have no holes, because the egg will run out the bottom and make it harder to release these guys. So I did not spray my muffin tin because the sausage is pretty fatty, and it is going to shrink down some when they cook. They shouldn't be too much of a problem to get out. I'm also, though, using a good quality muffin tin. It's not a non-stick muffin tin. I don't really care for those for baking. That's another story entirely. But use a jumbo muffin cup, jumbo muffin tin for this recipe. And I'll drop a link below to one of my favorite brands. And that's it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pop these guys in the oven for a few minutes to cook a little bit first. And I'll be right back when I pull them out. All right, guys, so they've been cooking in the oven. And as you see when you pull them out, they will have lost a little bit of their shape, but that's okay. They're still beautiful. And they're fully cooked. Now, if your sausage is really fatty, you may want to get a spoon in there and just clear out some of that fat. I know fat is good and fat is flavor, but you don't really want to bite into it too much in a dish like this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some cheese and just put a good pinch in the bottom of each cup. I'm using, I believe this is Gouda, which is just a nice mild flavored melting, easy melting cheese. But you can use whatever you've got. Jazz up the flavor with Monterey Jack. Go smoky goodness with a smoked mozzarella. Really, it's pretty forgiving, whatever you want to do. All right, next we're going to add our eggs. And here's my little tip for your eggs. If you just crack an egg and drop it in, you run the risk of getting a shell in there. So grab a little cup and an egg. Always crack your egg on a flat surface. That way you lessen the chance of getting eggshell everywhere. Crack the egg into your bowl. Just give it a quick check for any eggshell. Nope. In you go, just like that. Don't worry if a little bit of that egg white goes down the side. That's okay. But they should be pretty well contained in their little cups. And that cheese is going to help seal up the bottom so that we don't get any spillage up through the bottom. There we go. Last one, in you go. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on the tops of these and a pinch of cheese. Actually, let's just do our salty goodness now. There's a fair bit of salt in them, but eggs do need a bit of help. And we're going to put a bit more cheese on the top. Don't go too cheese heavy because you want to taste the other flavors too. And don't forget there's cheese on the bottom already. So just a bit on top, just so that it turns brown and delicious, and it'll help protect your egg white or your egg yolk from overcooking. All right, so these I'm going to pop back in the oven about 5 to 6 minutes at 375, depending on how well you like your egg yolk cooked. Make sure you pre-cook the sausage, unless you like your egg yolk cooked all the way through, in which case you could assemble them, put them all in all at once. So come on back and I'll pull these out of the oven when they're done and show you how delicious they are. All right, welcome back. I've just pulled them out of the oven. They're still a little bit sizzly. The egg yolk is still a little bit runny, and they're perfectly cooked. So to plate these up, you want to eat them while they're still warm. Get a knife in here, a fork in here, and lift them out slowly onto a plate, just like that. Ooh, hotza. Hotza, hotza. Now, here's the moment of truth. Cutting into them. You want the white to be cooked, but the yolk to be runny. A little trick, if you're having trouble getting it cooked all the way through properly, pop it on the broiler. Let it cook from the top down. And that'll cook up your egg whites pretty darn quickly. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. That is just about as delicious gets. And you know what? They're so tasty too. It's like breakfast, egg, meat, cheese, everything you want, all in one perfect little pocket of goodness. So good. That, my friends, is a breakfast for keto champions. Easy, delicious, ready in about 30 minutes, start to finish. It just doesn't get much better than that. Thanks for hanging out with me today, learning how to cook sausage and egg cups. Full recipe is down below. Make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I put out another one of my Oscar-worthy winning videos here. Who am I kidding? Anyway, sausage and egg cups. I'm Chef Jen from KetoCookingWins.com. Hope to see you back here soon.